Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I have another top 5 video for you guys, and these I do every year at the beginning of the new year, and it's top 5 vehicles everyone should own now in 2020. And for this list, I'm going to be choosing vehicles that I think are very good, and a lot of times they're underrated, and a lot of people, they don't own these vehicles now. I will not be mentioning a lot of older vehicles that I have in my past videos, like for instance the Buzzard, the Oppressors, the Terabyte. A lot of people already have those vehicles. I'm going to be mentioning vehicles that a lot of people don't have and are very useful. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video. Let's get started. So starting off here, we have the Seabreeze. And the Seabreeze costs a total of $1,130,000, but you can also get it for a trade price of $850,000 if you complete 36 hangar missions. So when you get the hangar, complete some missions, you'll be able to stock it up on hangar crates, you'll be able to get money there, and also you unlock a trade price. But even if you choose not to get the trade price, with a little bit over $1 million, this is still one of the most affordable vehicles in the game and becomes even more affordable when it's $850,000. Now, why the Seabreeze? The reason I chose the Seabreeze is because I wanted to put one amphibious vehicle on this list. I wanted to put one vehicle on this list that can land in water and is really good at it, and that is the Seabreeze, which I personally think is the best amphibious vehicle in this game. The Seabreeze is a decently fast plane. It's very agile in the air. It doesn't have explosive cannons, it has machine guns, but it does have bombs. The bombs can be very useful. Like in this case, I was helping my friend complete the Vault Explosives prep for the casino heist. And right here, you guys see, I went down here, I bombed the boats, I destroyed them, and what's great about the Seabreeze is you can just pretty much smash into the water, and the plane will not get destroyed. As long as you don't flip it upside down, you can smash it right into the water. It's very agile in the water, very easy to land into the water, and then you can just get out of it, get what you need in the water, and then get right back into it. One little annoying thing is that the Seabreeze tends to bounce a lot in the water, so it can, the waves can kind of take it a little bit farther down, but if you're quick, you can get right back into it, and you can take off easily. So I would say the Seabreeze, because there's a lot of missions that involve you going out to sea, and there's probably going to be more added in the future, so if you ever have like a mission where you got to retrieve crates in the water, or you have like a prep like this, the Seabreeze would be the best vehicle for that. At number 4, we have the Khanjali tank, and the reason that I chose the Khanjali is because I wanted to put one tank on this list, and this is the best tank in the game. It's much better than the APC. It will destroy the APC in a fight. The APC might be a little bit faster, but the Khanjali is just so much more useful, and it's also solo friendly. Now, the Khanjali is pretty expensive. It costs $3,850,000, but you can get it for a trade price of $2,895,000 if you complete the Khanjali setup in the Act 3 heist, so make sure you do that because it knocks $1 million off the price. But the Khanjali, it's very useful, especially in a situation like this. Now, here I was doing the prep to get the infiltration suits for the silent and sneaky approach for the casino heist, and this is actually a pretty challenging prep because there's a lot of Merryweather enemies outside, and it's right in Fort Zancudo, so even if you kill all the Merryweather enemies, you're still going to have army that goes after you, and you're probably going to have some tanks that go after you as well. So what me and my friend did right here is spawn the Khanjali. You can spawn it right with the mechanic. It'll spawn in front of you, drive right towards the enemies, and just wipe them out. And the Khanjali also has a rail cannon, which you can fire pretty fast. It charges that up, has good range on the cannon, does a lot of damage. As you can see right here, I managed to blow up 2 armored insurgents in 2 shots right here, got rid of them, got rid of all the enemies. And on top of that, the Khanjali's extra weapon, the machine gun, for the co-passenger, that is also really good. This machine gun is very useful. It's very useful getting rid of pursuers, and it's also very useful for taking out NPC helicopters that chase you. This machine gun is very good for that. There's also grenade launchers that the 3rd and 4th passenger can use, but they're not as useful. But there's also mines that the driver can drop, and these mines are unlimited, but you can only drop 5 at a time, and then the last mine will disappear. But the Khanjali is a very useful vehicle, also decent at going off-road, not amazing, but it can handle off-road terrain, useful for clearing out a large area. So if you have like a large area where the enemies are all stationary, they're not really moving around, the Khanjali will be the best vehicle for that. Everybody should get a Khanjali. Very useful, very helpful vehicle. At number 3, we have the Molotov, and this is the most expensive vehicle on this list, costing $4,788,000, but you can get it for a trade price of $3,600,000 if you complete 18 hanger crate missions. So I do recommend you complete those missions. You get money for the hanger, and you also get over $1 million off of this plane. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking. Why the Molotov? This one, not a lot of people own this plane. And the reason that I chose the Molotov is because it's a very, very useful vehicle for getting around the map. The Molotov is faster than both the Laser and the Hydra. But what really seals the deal for the Molotov is the fact that it can land almost anywhere. This thing is just so easy to land. You just basically slow down, it'll glide in, and you can land it anywhere. Even on pretty narrow streets, I landed it right here in front of my arcade business. It's very fast. It has unlimited homing missiles. It doesn't have explosive cannons. It does have machine guns. But this jet can be very useful for getting across the map. If you got to get across the map really quickly and you even have to blow up some enemies, this can help you out a lot. Now, it doesn't carry bombs, but you can get pretty good with the missiles if you practice a lot. I've defeated Oppressor Mark IIs with this thing in the past, and to prove how good the Molotov is, I'm going to be doing the mission Duggan Shipments. Now, a lot of people say that Duggan Shipments is impossible to do solo because there's 10 targets and you have 10 minutes to take them out. And even if you were using like an Oppressor Mark II, you probably would not be able to make it to take out the targets. Now, I did have the Molotov right outside the business, so that did save me a little bit of time, but getting to each target, take a look at this, fly over each target, I blow up each target with the Molotov. The Molotov was very effective at completing Duggan Shipments. I even got rid of the helicopters as well, went across the map, took them out in a pattern, and after I killed all the targets, I still had 2 minutes to spare. So the Molotov, very useful jet, very useful for getting across the map. The fact that it can land pretty much almost anywhere really easily. It lands even easier than the Hydra. And the Hydra, people might argue that the Hydra is easier to land because you go into hover mode, but that takes more time for it to go into hover mode. The Molotov, it's just easier to control when you land. It's very smooth, it's very fast, very good jet. I like it a lot. Everybody should definitely give it a try. Pretty much everybody, most players own the Hydra, but not a lot of people own the Molotov. Next at number 2, we have the Stromberg. Now, the Stromberg is also a decently expensive vehicle, costing $3,185,000, but you can get it for a trade price of $2,395,000 if you complete the Stromberg setup in the Act 2 heist, so make sure that you complete that setup mission. If you haven't completed it, it will give you a decent discount on the vehicle. Now, why the Stromberg? The reason I chose the Stromberg isn't actually for its underwater capabilities. Now, the vehicle can go underwater, it does have that unique feature, but I don't really make use of that. Not too many people make use of that. What it's actually more useful for is on land. Now, the reason the Stromberg is so useful is because its missiles are extremely accurate. If you fire missiles at a target, it's pretty much always going to hit that target. It's very accurate missiles, and it's better than the Buzzard missiles. They hit the target whenever they're aiming at it. It's very difficult to dodge them, and this is why it's useful against the Oppressor Mark II. Ever since the casino heist, the Oppressor Mark IIs have gotten a patch where whenever they get destroyed, there's a 5-minute cooldown on them, and a lot of people have spammed Oppressor Mark IIs in PvP, and the Stromberg, I've used that in the past against Oppressor Mark IIs even before the patch. It was also useful, but it was also really annoying how they could just spawn another Oppressor Mark II shortly afterwards. But now, they take 5 minutes to spawn another one, so the Stromberg is going to be much more useful. If you take this thing out and you fire this at an Oppressor Mark II with its missiles, it's going to be pretty difficult to dodge it. And on top of that, the Stromberg can actually take a few missiles from the Oppressor Mark II before it blows up. It doesn't blow up instantly, but the Oppressor Mark IIs will blow up instantly. Now, I know some people are going to tell me the Scramjet is also good at fighting the Oppressor Mark II because it can jump and dodge missiles, and I guess, but the Scramjet can only take one missile from the Oppressor Mark II before it gets blown up. The Stromberg can actually take a few. So, if you get attacked by Oppressor Mark IIs, spawn a Stromberg. It will be very useful for countering it, and now with the latest patch from the Oppressor Mark II, this vehicle is going to be even more useful. Before I reveal the number 1 vehicle I think everybody should get in 2020, I wanted to make a special mention, which is the new RC Invader Persuade tank. This was released on Christmas for free for anybody that logged in that day, but if you don't log in that day and you missed it, it's going to be $2,275,000. This is going to create some unique gameplay in the future, and I could see this being useful in a lot of side missions, especially when you want to clear out an area and you don't really want to get shot. This could be helpful. And the number one vehicle that I think everybody should own in 2020 is a thruster jetpack, and that costs $3,657,000, but you can get it for a trade price of $2,750,000 if you complete the Act 3 finale. Now, why the thruster? Why this vehicle? Now, the thruster is the only vehicle on this list that actually appeared on my list last year, the top 5 vehicles everyone should own in 2019, and it wasn't even number 1 then, it was actually number 3. Number 1 back then was the Terabyte. So why is the thruster number 1 right now? The reason I put the thruster as number 1 right now is because a lot of people already own a Terabyte, and number 2 had as the Akula, and a lot of people also own Akulas, but I don't see thrusters as often as I see Terabytes and I see Akulas. The thruster is a vehicle a lot of people still don't own on GT Online, and whenever, I use this vehicle in my videos or I use this vehicle in live streams, people ask me all the time. It's one of the most common questions asked on my stream. Is the thruster worth it? The thruster is worth it. But if the thruster is such a great vehicle, why don't a lot of people have it? The reason a lot of people don't have it is because they constantly rely on the Oppressor Mark II, and they just use the Oppressor Mark II, and they don't see a need for getting the thruster. But the thruster, what's useful about it is you can spawn it with your mechanic, so counts as a personal land vehicle. It'll spawn right in front of you, spawns on any street that a land vehicle spawns in. And what I love about the thruster is that it can land in places a helicopter can't land. It's very agile, decently fast. You can land it right next to an objective. Like in this case, I was doing a prep mission, land right in front of the objective, knock this guy out, take his key card, fly away. And then when I was doing the same mission later on and I was leaving the facility, I actually had the thruster right in front of the door, and I was able to get on it and easily take off. It's that convenience that you can just easily get on it, easily take off, easily land it anywhere you need to. It's also useful for a variety of different things. It's useful for, cell missions, useful for getting around place to place. Like in this case, I was delivering bags. I was helping one of my friends sell his MC business. The thruster was very useful for that. But what also makes the thruster really reliable is the thruster can actually not be hit by Oppressor Mark II missiles. So if somebody's actually spamming Oppressor Mark II missiles at you and you fly in a perfectly straight line, if you stop, they'll hit you. But if you fly in a perfectly straight line, the thruster cannot be hit by Oppressor Mark II missiles. As in this case, you see, my friend spammed them at me to test this, and he could not hit me. And you will actually make an Oppressor Mark II griefer waste all of their missiles. And this is why the thruster is so useful now, because ever since the Oppressor Mark II has that 5-minute cooldown now, people are looking for other vehicles to be able to defend themselves with and use in the meantime. The thruster would be a very good vehicle in that case, because if you're on an Oppressor Mark II, you get blown up by a griefer that's on an Oppressor Mark II, you get on the thruster, you fly in a straight line, they can't blow you up. It's a great vehicle for getting around the map. Now, its missiles are not that accurate, I'll give it that. The missiles aren't that great, but if you're hitting ground targets, you can pretty much aim at whatever you're hitting, but it's just the convenience of just being able to get around really quickly, land almost pretty much anywhere, easily take off, easily land. It's a great vehicle. It's probably one of the most underrated vehicles in this game, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know, what do you think of my list? Do you agree with me? Do you own the thruster or the other vehicles on this list? And if you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like, and if you're new to my channel, enjoy my content, subscribe. And again, Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone.